start recording.
Okay, so this is my presentation for running for the event team director, and obviously my name is Idrees Mohammed. So I'm a freshman, and I'm currently a member of the finance team. Fall 2021, so this past semester was my first semester at school, and then also at 0 to 1. So that's just my history. 0 to 1 is the longest history ever. But yeah, just this past semester I was on the finance team. So the reason why I wanted to run for this role as an event team, so first of all, why specifically this role is, why is it interesting to me? So first, reading on the change roles for event team, I saw the expanded role that the event team would have in developing content for the 0 to 1 community. Like in the past, it was really just handling the back end finance work and then demo day. But now, we're getting the guest speaker series, and then in general, just more space and more opportunity to kind of be creative in the events that we're doing, like the guest speaker series that move from outreach. So that is one reason why I'm interested, and then also because as part of that change, there was the removal of the restrictions from that it has to be part of the the incubator format or anything like that. It's you have that freedom of tailoring to whatever the needs are, and that's really important when I think about what contributions I want to make as the event team director. First of all, I want to have that consistent guest events that because of that freedom to pick whatever kind of topics or style that we want. I want that to really reflect the needs of the venture directors. It's totally possible that there's a popular demand for a need, like a topic, or even a style of event that isn't necessarily the same as what you find in the incubator series, and having that freedom to speak with the directors, get their feedback, and then have events that match what they need and what will help them the most is one thing that I'm really looking forward to, adding and contributing. And then also, I guess this is kind of one of my own newer ideas that I was thinking about is semi-public networking events. And I'll get a little bit more into that. We talk about the vision for the future, and I'll explain what I mean by semi-public. But the idea is to expand everyone's community outside just our executive and cohort, and then also bring help to venture directors through those networking events. And for me personally, why I'm interested, first of all, just developing enhanced networks and having and being able to create and show tangible benefits to a community with events is a really good skill, and I'm really interested in learning on that. As of right now, I'm working more majors, computer science and economics, so that's more technical work, and I want to kind of complement that with some of this front end work, and then being able to show and present and develop things that are obvious to people while also learning back and stuff. And one just general area to improve, I think for me coming in, I'm not someone who went through the incubator and then now I'm joining the team, or I haven't made any startups in the past. So something that I do recognize that I need to improve on, and that's what I'm going to try to do in this next semester, is better understanding this general entrepreneurship ecosystem, and that'll really help for the RSCR, the just inter-RSL activities and stuff like that. So that's one area that I'm actively looking on improving on, so that I can implement that as well within the general visions and contributions. So that's from my history in the one semester that I've been here. This is kind of a breakdown of the general contributions that I've had to 0 to 1. So at a basic level, over the past semester, I've been learning the back-end finance work. I haven't been actively doing it. That's kind of what the directors have been doing, but I've been learning. I've been had access to all the files, so I've seen the way that they're updating, and obviously in meetings they talk about it. So I've been learning that. The 1 month trial for us, for the finance team, was a fundraiser, and that specifically was something was interesting because midway through that, 2 of our 4 members they dropped midway through the onboarding. So from being aged with many two people, we did have to do a lot of communication and restructuring to make sure that we would still have everything set by the fundraiser date. So that was kind of a challenging experience, but eventually we ended up getting the fundraiser out. And same with the venture advertisement. This was also another thing that was initially intended for all four of us, but as we lost a couple people, that also had to be restructured and then fixed. And this is a program that I'm still currently working on. So this summer I'm working with Shane, and this is where I've interviewed and recorded information from the summer 21 cohort, and we're using this information to revamp the advertising of our cohorts and our ventures on social media, the website, and then on potential investors. As of right now, the marketing team is remaking that website. So we have taken that information, working with the marketing team so that they can incorporate that into the new website in a way that's more exciting, more kind of in your face to investors and people who are just visiting the website, so that it's clear what progress, what advancements our ventures have been making, and how they've succeeded. And then finally, as of right now, we're working on the Spring 2022 Demo Day, and I've been actively working on that as well. And then speaking about my experiences with Zero to One, so first on the side of problems and challenges, so the general problems that that I saw with Zero to One, the struggles that I had, one is I feel like there's a lack of transparency between teams and long-term development goals. So in between a team, obviously there's good communication, and I know what everyone else in the finance team is doing, but I felt like during this past semester, if at any point you had asked me, what is the outreach team doing or what is the community team doing, I really wouldn't have an answer because I didn't really know what was going on. And I think that really hinders the long-term development of goals, because I don't really know what other people are doing. And maybe that was just me, but I felt like I was kind of in a little bubble when it comes to what was going on, and I didn't really know the bigger picture. And that leads into the second thing also, the ease of communication to support projects. I think this is really important for going into as an event team director. Events, obviously, I can't assign just one or two people who can build the event. You need the help of all the other teams as well. So if I feel like if we can develop some way where teams can have better and more clear and transparent communication, it'll help a lot with planning these bigger things like events and especially Demo Day. For me personally, the challenges, again, is similar to what I was just mentioning, and that kind of led into a little bit of confusion for me about figuring out what my role was on this exec team. What should I be looking for? What should I expect from the future? And one thing I did to try to fix that is that I did network with other members. I tried actively talking and seeing where did they come from, what are they doing, what their understanding of Zero to One has been, and that's helped a lot with understanding what my place in Zero to One is and what exactly the goal of this exec team is. Towards looking at strengths and weaknesses, for me, so strengths, I would say that a good adapting to new workflows, and specifically when I understand the new workflow and I understand what's going on, being able to recognize the gaps in the potential, and then developing projects to fill that void. And I think that really reflects well with the event team, because events are something that we're trying to increase. So seeing where can we put in events that will be beneficial for the community, whether it's the exec team or for the cohort, something that I think I could do pretty well. And then also managing multiple projects at once. Again, with the event team, there's going to be multiple events going on, multiple things in the short term and long term, and I think I'm pretty good at handling that. Weaknesses and things to learn on my end. So I think spreading ideas to the broader community to kickstart progress is one thing that I do need to work on. I think that plays in with events as well, being able to spread the ideas of what events we're trying and getting feedback from people that are beyond just the immediate people that I talk to. is something that I have to work on, and I'll definitely be looking to, then that's why I feel like we could maybe revamp that system of inter-team communication, so we could support that for people who also may struggle with that. And the things I need to learn, I think for me, as I mentioned it previously, that I don't really come from an entrepreneurship background, so I'm still learning the broader entrepreneurship environment. And I think, especially actively working to build events and network will really help, give me more experience that I need for that. And then, what I enjoyed about 0 to 1, I think, it's really supportive environment. The community here, like, they seem genuinely interested to learn and advance the team's goal, and not just, each person like kind of like build a resume. And then Peter found his way after the slide. So that's that. Now finally, here's the my vision, and this is where I want to go through kind of what I feel like as the event team we should be looking to do. So on the top, you can see that there's the my vision kind of put into one sentence. That would be developing a structured, flexible schedule of events that can be replicated in this form by dynamic to the needs of the community. So here you can see there's 4 sets of events, and this is part of the framework I feel like we should develop. Again, I think it's really important that for events we have a basic framework, but then nothing too strict. Because if we have that basic framework, then in the coming semesters, whether it's me again, or if I get the chance to do this, or somebody else who takes it, then they won't have to start from scratch. Because starting from scratch it takes a lot of effort, a lot of time. If we've already done it in the past, we don't want to be wasting time trying to rebuild something that we already had. So the way that this works, that I had was that we go off of 4 types of events. So the first is the guest speaker series, and this is what's coming from outreach. And it seems good to have about 1 to 2 per semester. And the idea of this is that this is specifically tailored for helping the VDs with learning and gaining ideas. So we would discuss with the VDs the different stages and try to figure out what kind of topics do they want and what style of a discussion do they want. So it could be, either a lecture style or more of a roundtable discussion where they want to be able to have, people talking back and forth and giving ideas and debating ideas. And then even in the post-event after that, we could also gauge the interest of which VDs were most interested, and see if the speaker that came is willing to work more closely in small groups, 1-on-1, 1-on-2, 1-on-3, with these VDs that are more personal to their ventures. And that way the VDs can get more direct help, and then also we could try to bring that speaker closer towards being a mentor in the community. The next step is the semi-public networking events, and this is what I said I would explain right now. So, we have these systems in place within 0 to 1 for VDs finding new people to talk with and new partners. But the thing is that I feel like it's a little counterintuitive, because if someone's here in the community, that means they're already working on an idea, or they're part of the exec team and may have already done something. So I feel like the primary attraction of this semi-public networking event is that you'll have VDs who have set up to to talk about their venture in an effort that if someone from the public comes, they could teach them about entrepreneurship. The public can get to learn about what it's like, and then also VDs could try to recruit people that they're interested in, that they see from the public, to try to partner with them. And so the attraction for the public would be hey, you can come, you can learn about entrepreneurship, you can network with these people who are actually making ventures, and you can potentially get a chance to work with them if they're interested, and if you guys can work things out. And overall, that would increase the capacity for their own community, because then we could have people who aren't on the team or on a cohort formally, but they still are related to 0 to 1. They have inroads and connections in it. And this is more of a exposure sort of thing, is partner career events. So here we would have joint events with university or career service groups, and things like resume reviews, career counseling, and we could have some upperclassmen, BDs, BCs go and be help in that career services, and then as a part of that, they could talk about Zero to One, they could invite those people who are there, and that way we can hit a cohort of people who are like actively interested in their career, and we could possibly get higher returns and more exposure to that group. And then finally, for demo day, one thing that this is just like an idea is that we want to like try incorporating new features to increase the audience interaction. As of right now, I know we're adding like audience favor and stuff like that, but like even things like audience, like mini pitches, surprise games, stuff like that. And the idea is that as of right now, we're selling an audience to audience, long-term career building ideas. We're giving them exposure to entrepreneurship and all that. But at the same time, we do need to be exciting for people to come so that they can get like that long-term game and also the short-term game. And we want to add some exciting and fun activities so that when they come, there's something to sell them in the moment, and then that'll open their door for learning more about the future, so that we can possibly get a higher turnout from that. So overall, yeah, that's my vision, and that concludes the presentation. Thank you guys.
Awesome presentation. Yeah, I like how detailed you went into the your vision for specifically like what you would do in the spring semester. And there's when you mentioned about the communication across the teams, that's I think it has always been a problem within our exec team for since the start of actually after we start expanding to more than just 10 people within a team. So I get so right now we're still trying to figure out like what other solutions can we use to resolve this problem, right? So do you have any ideas or things that you think we should be doing to improve this cross-team communication?
As of right now, I don't actually have any like concrete ideas of what we could try to increase that. I think that was something that kind of came to me as like this new member of this team. This is one of the areas where I felt like I struggled with. So, still I'm not like fully fully into the Zero to One community and how everything works. So as of right now, I don't really have an idea of how that would happen. But I feel like going into next semester, like ideas will come.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I see. Yeah. I think later on we can see. All right, what would be the better way to make the teams more transparent? Like, is it through meetings, or is it through presentations, or is it through discussions, or even online text? Yeah. All right. I guess the other questions I have is so you mentioned about the public networking event for the VDs to recruit members, right? And I think that's actually a pretty good idea. Like for most of our VDs, like they actually struggle to recruit their teammates throughout the boot camp, right? And in fact, actually, Valerie, our advisor, also mentioned this idea to me like a few weeks ago. About maybe co-hosting a venture or entrepreneurship showcase to anyone who's interested in entrepreneurship. Kind of similar to what TEC was doing over the fall semester, but in this case, we can cater more towards ventures that are not just limited to technology. Yeah, and so I guess like. I still have some like I guess like I wasn't exactly sure how this will pan out though, because do you know about TEC social fuse, like ventures? So like student founders will pitch their ideas and they try to recruit every month. Do you know about that event?
I've heard of it, but I don't know exactly what happened to it.
Oh, okay. I guess like maybe later on we can talk more about this, but yeah, one concern I have is like social fuse and that kind of event might have some kind of conflicts of interest or duplicate effort. But I guess yeah, the question was about, I guess, like if you know more about it, we can like discuss it later on. But yeah, anyone have any other questions?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So that the networking thing, I think that's a great idea too. And maybe it is like kind of like social fuse. So maybe we can actually work with Stephanie and Kirsta to actually make their networking portion better. So we just like combine efforts and like make their social fuse even better.
Yeah, for me, like when I was thinking of like this networking event, it does have a dual purpose in the sense that it's also like exposure for 0 to 1, but I was looking at it more from the perspective of like, you know, what's something that we can do to give directors or venture directors some more like opportunities to make partners. So, you know, while I mean social fuse, I mean I don't know too much about it, but its primary goal so that the venture directors can get partners, or is that just something like a benefit of that program?
Yeah, so their main goal is to like help startups find teammates. But you're right, like that's for everyone. And Johnny also mentioned it's only for like technology ventures. So we can host one that's just for 0 to 1 or is more diverse, you know. So there's a lot of opportunities to improve or host some kind of event like this. And also, like in the past, we wanted to do something similar, but also inviting like other RSOs, like it's a cross RSO networking event. Like could have some benefits too.
Yeah, and but I think your idea have a lot of potential because COSAT is happening in spring semester, and there's going to be a lot of teams, new teams especially, they'll be looking for people, to join their teams. So like I think a lot of students will actually have strong incentives to attend these kind of events. Yeah. If we make it make it public. Yeah.
And also, remember like the main value of 0 to 1 is community, right? And because of COSAD, there's going to be like a huge influx, like a bunch of different student founders coming together all at once. And COSAD doesn't have any specific thing to build that community, right? So we can literally partner with TC to host events and stuff to build the community around all of these student founders that are coming together. Right? So yeah, there's a lot of opportunities to work with the university too, and with COSAD.
Yeah, I think we could like try. I mean, we could market it as like a pre-COSAD networking event, so that people like will see that, and if they're going to COSAD, then yeah, like you said, they'll have even more incentive to be like, hey, you know what, I should just come take a look at this. It might help me for COSAD.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, and I think especially one thing that what we were trying to do with the SCR that didn't work out so far is basically trying to create a kind of a co-working space of just entrepreneurs working on startups together, right? And that would be very beneficial, especially for like COSAT participants to learn more about each other's ventures and learn how they're dealing with problems and whether it's like ideation management or anything like that, right? And if you host these kind of like networking events or maybe even co-working hours in collaboration with the community team or something like that, right? There could be a huge potential for us to actually bring the entrepreneurship community all together through just these bigger public events. So yeah, I can see there's a lot of potential in there.
Yeah, I actually wanted to talk a little bit about that. It was also a great presentation. I think just one thing I wanted to ask is, I think I see SCR, or I see the events team as the sort of external front of the networking event. And I think that the SCR, or the networking event, is the sort of internal front of the networking event. And I think that the SCR, or the networking event, is the sort of external front of the networking event. And I think that the SCR, or the networking event, is the sort of external front of the networking event. And I think that the SCR, or the networking event, is the sort of external front of the networking event. And I think that the SCR, or the networking event, is the sort of external front of the networking event. And I think that the SCR, or the networking event, is the sort of external front of the networking event. And I think that the SCR, or the networking event, is the sort of external front of the networking event. And I think that the SCR, or the networking event, is the sort of external front of the networking event. And I think that the SCR, or the networking event, is the sort of external front of the networking event. And I think that the SCR, or the networking event, is the sort of external front of the networking event. And of relations, or basically the the community team would be the internal side of events, and the external side of things would be the events team. That's what I'm trying to say. And so if that's the way that you view it too, then SCR would fall quite directly into that bucket of things. And I think if Tina gets the external VP role, then she'll be working with you on that. But like just as Johnny and Peter were mentioning, SCR would be very interesting avenue to look into, right? So do you have like any sort of ideas about what you would want to do in the SCR thing? I know you reached out to me a while back about Slack about SCR, but where do you want to take SCR? And if it fits into some ideas that you have for the events team.
Yes, I think the networking event is one thing that fits into working with SCR. So whether we do it directly just like us and TEC, or I could imagine that it would be most beneficial if we worked with SCR and then we created a pre-COSAD event, and that way it kind of would be an umbrella for the vast majority of entrepreneurs who are working within this environment to have access to this sort of networking event. So that's one place where I see working with SCR. Along the lines of SCR though, the one as I talked about kind of in the presentation, I'm still learning the ins and outs of the broader environment. So I think for me right now, like within like these weeks, is for me it's like the discovery period. Working with Tina's there to learn more about what exactly is going on within our RSO activities, and then probably within the next couple of weeks will be like the hard brainstorming time to try to figure out what more besides the networking events can we put together with SCR.
That makes sense. That makes sense to me. I think so, Johnny. I think it would make sense if Idrees joined the SCR meeting right in the future this next week and see how things goes, and I think it would give you a lot of insight into what we're doing and what the history of the whole thing is. But yeah, that sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd definitely be willing to join that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I think we should invite like Maria or like community to that too. Another question I had was looking at the role. Are there what parts of like hosting like these events do you think you would need most help with, or like are you most concerned about?
For me, I think the part that would stick out to me the most as wanting like support from other parts of the team would be with marketing. Finding that audience to bring, like for example, if we're talking about like the career services, right? That just to give an example of events that I would try to start. If we can get the right group of people to come to those events, like career service events usually draw people who are more actively interested in their career. So if we can get that cohort of people there, then our return will most likely be much more successful than if we just took like a random group of people, like on average. But that also entails actually drawing the attention and getting those people to come by marketing it properly. So I think marketing and bringing the right audience that's intended for our events would be something that I would want help from. And I think that would be something that I would appreciate, other parts of the team working together with that.
Mm-hmm.
I see. So you also mentioned that since the exec team was kind of pretty separate, I guess, like except the outreach team hosting the workshops, all the other teams are pretty separate from the VDs, the cohorts, right? And so you weren't really able to understand the ventures well or the VDs well. So and now we're hosting like events for these VDs, right? So what do you think we should be doing to understand, at least like if you're leading a team and then you have members working with you, what approach would you take to understand the needs of these VDs and really understanding, what kind of resources will be most helpful for them.
Yeah, so I think one place to start, I was talking about when I was talking about the guest speaker series, a lot of the success of that hinges on being able to get that information out from BDs, understand, what topics and then what style of discussion they want. So one thing that I would imagine would be, very important is to, whenever they have workshops or any sort of group activities, to actively be there and to have a plan of, either during the workshop or after the workshop, have a discussion with them or incorporate something into the workshop so that we have an idea of where do the VDs want to go, what information are they looking for, and, do they want like lectures or do they want discussions with other VDs and with the guests. So I think actively being at those workshops and having a plan of getting that information out from them is really important. And I think overall, like if we have that information and if that's stored somewhere where people can access easily, I think overall for the exec team, like it helps to get kind of like a big picture setting, because at the end of the day, right, as the exec team, our goal is to support those VDs and to give them what they need to succeed. So if we have that big picture to always look at and say, okay, at this stage, most of the VDs are looking for X, Y, and Z, and then at the later stage they're looking for something else, then that will help in developing those long-term goals and just having an idea of where we're going.
So, yeah, I think it's a really good idea to dive deeper into discuss talking to the VDs and really understanding their needs, right? And but most likely that in the spring semester we won't be hosting an incubator, but focusing on supporting the fall cohort, right? So there might not be that many the traditional workshops that we hosted in the past. So are there other ways that you're planning to get that information from the VDs?
When I say workshops, I guess I should have probably mentioned other, just in general, any events where the VDs will show up, so co-working hours, happy hours, stuff like that. As of right now, that's one of the main things that I have as a concrete, tangible idea. There's still some more brainstorming to go into how we can access the VDs, how we can communicate with them and get that those answers out of them so that we can support them better.
Yeah, okay, that sounds good. Anyone have any other questions?
All right, great job.
Yeah, awesome. Great presentation. Yeah. I guess, yeah. So I guess after this presentation, yeah, we will pretty much just announce the results for all of the directors, all of the VPs, the promotion results, probably today or tomorrow. And well, Maria is still running for the community team director, but she'll be presenting that later on. And yeah, on Wednesday we will, introduce all of the promoted directors, the new exec board to the entire organization, all together, right? So yeah, you can prepare maybe 30 seconds elevator pitch just to talk about yourself, what you'll be doing, and then yeah, tell the community who will be leading the organization in the spring semester. Yeah, sounds good. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Now I guess we can just go back to the regular exec team meeting. If you guys have any discussions to talk about right now, you guys feel free to walk to the side and yeah, start your committee meeting. Yeah, for directors, we will have a board meeting at 8 p.m. and there are some important points that we have to go over first. So yeah, I'll see you all at 8.
Jun, are you guys talking about demo day? We can go out to this. Should we talk about demo day? Okay, let's go. And then other people, you guys are talking about the recruitment stuff, right?
Yeah. I'm talking to Martin team about
Okay,
recruitment.
I can join you guys if you finish early.
Okay, sounds good.
John, can I also talk to you about